I was that kind of student. Were you like a good student? I was kind of a goody two shoes.
I love a gold star. So yeah, I was always like, so yeah. Okay, so I'm Jess, and I have been a teacher for 10 years. I was born and raised in the prairies of Canada, Alberta. And so, yeah, I'm a middle school teacher, math and English mostly. And I've always been super into ed tech. And that's how I found the Innovator Academy and the Innovator program. And so I'm just really interested in the ways that taking risks and, framing the way we see failure, framing the way that we see, making mistakes, how that like frames the way that we live our lives. And so not just in our classrooms, but beyond that. So, yeah. And so I found Innovator Academy at a time when I was really burnt out and just really struggling. And so it gave me something to focus on and really work toward. So I actually applied 3 times. I applied to the London 2019 cohort, and I had applied with like a teacher burnout focus. Mm-hmm. And really, like, looking back now, my application video was like a cry for help. I was really struggling. So after I didn't get into London, then I had this moment where I realized like so many of my students, and what you would call like, I don't love the terminology of like high students, but like mm-hmm. some of my really strong math students, they would come to me and be like, I don't get this. And then we'd kind of like both look at each other awkwardly. I'd be like, okay, that's good. Go struggle with it. And I realized it was code for like, solve this problem for me. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, like that's a problem. This like, I don't get it. So solve this problem. So that's what I applied to New York, NYC 19 with, this idea that our students are scared to fail and don't want to, even give the wrong answer. They just want the answer. And so I didn't get in with that. I kind of like realized that like I was building this like resilience in myself by applying and not getting accepted. Yeah. And I wouldn't have had that, I don't think, if like I kind of found myself in the process of applying. And so then I started to realize like, it's not just kids, like it's not just our students that are scared to fail. It's like, we're also really afraid of failing. And me as a teacher, why do I just do the same thing all the time? Is it because I'm scared to fail in front of my students? And so I zeroed in on that, like teachers and students. And that was a successful application for Sweden. But I just found that like over the course of applying and constantly reevaluating my own practice, I started to like uncover some fear of failure that I had in myself. And so I actually, like I teach, so I'm a grade 9 homeroom teacher, and I asked them this year to give me a growth mindset challenge back in September. It's like, I'm going to take on any challenge that you like, something that's not going to kill me. But, and so I actually, we did a survey and a poll, and they got to vote, and they landed on a perfect split between learning how to do a backflip and learning how to play Minecraft. Okay. And so I was like, let's do both. I'm going to do this. And it was like 2 weeks before my 32nd birthday, I was like, I'm going to learn how to do a backflip. Sure. And so the goal is like, not just on a trampoline. They want like on the playground that I would do like a backflip off of one of the pieces of equipment. So, I started to like make videos, and like I would get out on the trampoline, and like it was terrible at first. It was so bad. And I was like, hey, this is more, I started to film like my reactions and my reflections in the process, and they loved it. So it was like the community that we built in my classes, just showing them the little updates on the weekend. They couldn't wait till Monday. Like, I can't wait to hear about your backflips. Yeah. And so, it like took me 3 weeks to learn how to do a backflip on a trampoline. Again, like I'd done it before when I was a kid, but I did it. Yeah.
I'm floored. I'm like, backflip, go you.
And then people like around town, like other teachers would be like, hey, you're the teacher doing that backflip thing. And I was like,
you're the backflip teacher.
So they're like, yeah, we're like directing our students to watch your reflection videos because it's like modeling having a growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like a board up in my classroom that's like, I have a big poster that says you can do hard things. And then there's like little sheets they can fill out that said I did a thing and like tell us about it. And so, yeah, so I started doing that, kind of fueled my project that I'm working on now. And it's kind of my catchphrase now.
And then how did Minecraft go?
So I'm still working on it. I have like the whole school year. So
Okay.
they were kind of like, why are you working so much on backflips? I'm like, well, it's going to snow soon and I need to at least do this. Like I can play Minecraft through the winter. But yeah, one of the things that's been so cool about this is just like the connections that it's created between me and my students. Even like asking them for feedback. One of my grade 7 boys said like, I like that you are doing these challenges and you show us videos and it like kind of helps us to see that you're a person too. And like, I know more about you that I wouldn't have known. And so it's just like, I realized that, you know, I love Brene Brown. I love the work she's doing around shame and vulnerability. And it's so powerful when we are willing to like put ourselves out there and share about our experiences and about our things that we aren't good at. Cause we like live in a highlight reel culture, you know? And like digging into my how might we statement my how might we statement for the academy was how might we encourage educators and students to embrace challenges and fail forward or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we had to like work to get to the root cause of it. And I got to thinking like, I wonder if the reason why as teachers we're less likely to share those failures, especially like model it in our classrooms, is because I think for a long time teachers have been like fighting to be seen as professionals the same way that doctors and lawyers and dentists and, you know, other professions are seen. And so I wonder if like underneath it all, it could be seen as like an admission that you're not qualified to do your job, or, you know, to admit that you don't know something, or
very much
that you're not an expert in something. And even as a math teacher, like I think there's a lot of power in modeling. Like I make correct calculation errors all the time. It's called Reset EDU, Reset EDU, and that's the handle on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, I'm starting a podcast, so talking with inspiring people and just normal people about ways that they have failed and embraced failure and changed their mindset like around failure. Because I think sometimes we have this opinion of people that do inspiring things that like, wow, that person's so amazing. I could never do that. You know, like normal people doing everyday things, like ways that you're daring to, you know, try hard things. And, you know, if it can inspire some people, that's amazing. I would love to create a community online of teachers and students that are taking these kind of challenges and challenging each other. And it'd be so cool if there was like a global challenge month, like kind of like global read aloud kind of thing, where you like challenge other classes and connect around dares that you're doing. And so I'm just trying to like, you know, grow my social media empire and, you know, do all the things while having a full-time job and keeping kids alive. And it's a lot. And at the risk of sounding super cheesy, like imagine a world where like we weren't so concerned with like how perfect we presented ourselves. And that's really like what's behind my project. And it's so much more fun. It was so cool to have that to share. Like at first, some of the like major fails in this video, I was like, oh my gosh, I could never show someone that. But then I was like, no, I have to. And also it's so much more fun. Somebody said something like, it's so much more fun to fail together. One of my colleagues. I was like, that's true. Like when we join together and we all are working for something, it's like at the academy, when you ring the fail bell, it kind of made failing kind of fun. You were excited to like, okay, on to like, oh, that reminds me. Have you ever read the book, Rosie Revere Engineer?
I think we own the book, but yes, we're more of an Iggy Peck architect family because my son's name is Iggy.
But there's this line where she says, life might have its failures, but this is not it. The only true failure can come if you quit.
Oh.
And I'm like, yes. Like, I can't make it through that book without crying. I'm just always like, yes, like maybe, like if my kids could just like live their life this way and catch this at a young age, like how much, just like taking risks and doing big things. It starts little. It's in little things. And so, yeah.
Well, if people want to share their failures with you, where are the best places for them to reach you?
So I have a website, DareYou, DareYou, edu.com. Okay. There's a couple forms on there. They can, if they want to be on my podcast, they can sign up to be a guest. There's challenge ideas and then also links to all my socials. So on Twitter and Instagram, it's at DareYouEDU. And
awesome.
I would love to connect. I'm just super into connecting and making friends and making the world a more daring, fun place. So.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jen.
Be sure to subscribe to the Reset EDU channel for the latest project updates and episodes. If you're interested in a reset for your own classroom, be sure to fill out the form at bit.ly/ResetEDU. Thank you for watching.